at noon, Kylo Ren's nipples are taking over the internet. We play possibly the worst game of 2018 so far, and Scooby-Doo model kits because it's 2018, not the 70s. All that and more right now on Up at Noon Live.
Holy guacamole, we're back again with another episode of the show.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, hey,
doing it!
Welcome to Up at Noon. This is the show we do every week on IGN in spite of some people's best efforts to stop us. We have to bolt the door, we push up a chair against it, they bang on it.
Your mic's off.
My mic's off?
Your mic's off, you idiot. Hi everyone, it's Matt
Scoville, and I'm here to
Sorry, I
tell
had
you
something
all
in my
about
throat.
bumping into stuff on the ceiling. It's so high up there, and the lights that hit me. And
I hit my head on a lamp earlier this week.
He hit his head on a stage light yesterday.
I said like 5 words you can't say on the internet.
He said, I wish I could tell you
we can't
what he
repeat
said.
it.
He was like, Jesus F-wording, C-wording plant, Uncle Carrot, Langolier, llama-faced C-word, D-word,
F-word me up a
G.
GD tree or something.
was
Anyway,
great. Yes.
Hi everybody, welcome to Up and Noon. I'm sorry my mic was off. I went to the bathroom and I turned it off so they didn't have to hear me whiz in the studio. This is our nonsense show we do every Thursday at noon Pacific time on IGN on all the various platforms such as Twitch, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox One, PS4, Wowza, and so many other
You gotta
platforms.
stop putting Wowza in there. Is Wowza a real thing?
We're coming to you live on Hood Slam. That is the garage-based wrestling streaming service. It's a hit.
We're live on Kodo, the #1 avocado streaming website. Pop out the ball, look in the hole, and watch the videos on Kodo.
Wow, that's a really good idea. I like that.
Isn't that great?
Anyway, yeah, this week.
Real quick, we really look like the 2018 Wet Bandits right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, what else is new?
Here, can you talk for a second? I forgot to put up the tweet about how people should watch the show.
Really? Are you serious? All right, so I'm vamping right now. So we complain a lot about how our show is on a Thursday, which is exactly the right time for no news to be out until 20 minutes before we have to do the show. Today was no exception, and a whole bunch of big exciting news dropped like first thing this morning. There was a Nintendo Direct, which if we'd known that they were going to be announcing Dark Souls for Nintendo Switch, that probably would have been in the headline for this episode, but instead we're like, top 5 Kylo Ren memes, I guess. People don't like this new game. Anyway, we're going to talk about lots of fun stuff, but let's get started with some news. At beginning of this week, the biggest piece of news was that the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account tweeted for the first time in about 5 years. They said, beep. And that's what kind of news you get about video games in the first few weeks of January. Obviously, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be a huge, awesome, exciting game. This is from CD Projekt Red, the guys who did The Witcher 3. It is based on the Mike Pondsmith pen and paper RPG Cyberpunk 2025. I think that's it. This is kind of like a very old school sort of D&D approach to Cyberpunk, based heavily on the old science fiction writings of Neil Stephenson, William Gibson, people like that, and they're adapting it into a modern video game, which
that's great.
Should be awesome.
Who is Beep? Tell me more about this character.
I think the beep is supposed to be the sound of an old PC turning on.
I disagree. I think it's the love interest of the main character.
Part of Cyberpunk is about the intersection of man and machine. Will you make love to the car?
I think you will.
Who knows?
It'll be a beep. It'll make
beep.
a honk honk.
Beep. Yeah, so that's literally that's the top story is that
or
Cyberpunk
maybe that's the noise.
Tweeted a beep.
All the bad guys make that noise.
That would be weird if they.
But this is. I love this because it's a social experiment that we've seen multiple times this week, and we'll talk about another one in a second, where social media accounts run by the sort of official people holding on to these very cherished brands can say very little. And make people go completely, absolutely insane. We saw this with Beep. We saw Nintendo leading up to this morning's sort of top secret direct that they just put up a picture of Chibi Robo on fire. And people were like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Chibi Robo game? People were zooming in on his eye to see if the Smash Brothers logo was in there.
Yeah. No,
when we're starved for stuff, this is all
exactly. And I think that the guys at CD Projekt, they get this because they understand that there is anticipation for this. And it's sort of unfair that they were like, hey, here's this gorgeous CGI trailer back in 2013. So to give you a sense of how long this game has been in talks, when I previewed The Witcher 3 at E3 2013, they had on display a gun from Cyberpunk. Like they made a prop, and that was on display. And they were like, we don't have anything else to show you, but there is the gun. And we're like, okay, you made a fake gun. That's not a video game. Close, but getting there. So that's been there in the works for a while. I think that this might be indication we're going to see something maybe at E3 this year. I really hope so. But I do like that they're like, hey, we don't have anything to show you yet. We're going to shut up for 5 years. That's, I think, really good for kind of keeping people alive about hype and keeping people excited. Kind of on the flip side of that, and I don't want to like, poo-poo things that, IGN has going for it. We got an exclusive IGN first look at the Venom movie starring Tom Hardy. And it's Tom Hardy with a notebook and a shirt. Now you can pick this apart. Obviously, this is a weird movie because it's coming out this fall. It's Venom from the Spider-Man universe, but this is separate from Spider-Man in the whole cinematic universe and all that.
Right.
I mean, I like Tom Hardy. He came out on stage at the Brazil Comic-Con and basically was like, "Hey, I'm going to do my best to be the best Venom Eddie Brock you can be." And I think we have a piece up on IGN that's picking apart the details that you can kind of extrapolate from this image and what we know about the movie so far. If you zoom in on the really high-res image, there are some notes in there that you can read. I'm not going to dig into that too much.
You know what it says? It says, "Note to self: don't touch the Venom."
Yeah. Note to self: blue shirts are out. Get alien symbiote costume? Question mark.
Hey, let him wear whatever he wants because he's going to be in that orange jumpsuit.
Oh, look
today.
at that. Enhance. Wow, look at that. You're not going to get much there. It's not a very high-res image. Okay, well.
He's doing the peace sign.
Really doing that. Yeah.
That looks
if
like
you
a
look
Star
at it
Wars
upside down,
alien
you
right
might
now.
notice that his fingers spell the letter V for Venom.
Oh!
Yeah. That's a very weird transition. But no, I think it's hilarious. I feel like this is the most people have gotten excited about a photo of Tom Hardy with his shirt on. Usually it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get another teaser of him with his shirt off and covered in black slime. Who knows?
Yeah.
In other,
Put it that way. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, I like how it's like a lot of ladies are like, I enjoy looking at Tom Hardy with his shirt off and it's great. And they're like, great. Well, here's a new film that's coming out. What if he was covered in goo?
Yeah,
Would
I
that be
think they're going
sexy?
to be very sexually torn on that one.
Yeah.
Sexually Torn is my new R&B album
Let's
coming
just
out.
stop. So in other news of superhero movies sort of removed from their universes, the Gambit movie has been in talks for a very long time. Channing Tatum has been attached to it since, I think, again, something like 2012, 2013. And that's supposedly still happening. It just lost its third director, who is going to be Gore Verbinski of the kind of Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise fame. He also did Rango. And The Weatherman, starring Nicolas Cage. I'm sorry, I for some reason memorized Gore Verbinski's IMDb page.
Did you call it The Rango?
The Rango.
It's not called The
The
Rango.
Rango.
It's just called Rango.
The Rango. Johnny Depp is the chameleon. The Rango.
The Rango.
Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of hope for the Gambit movie. I feel like Gambit was always great as a character in relation to other characters.
Yeah.
Like either he was a guy who was more of a cool pain in the ass than Wolverine, or the fact that he couldn't kiss Rogue, but he would still like try to like give her flowers and be like a weird creepazoid.
It was cool when he showed up. And,
So-
but it's not a good sign when multiple people keep leaving the thing.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll come back to it. So yeah, really the big news though, of course, was the Nintendo Direct that dropped this morning, and we got a whole bunch of details about what's coming to Switch. The first really, really big, exciting kind of new first-party thing is Mario Tennis Aces.
Hell yeah, I know all of you were feverishly waiting for the new Nintendo Direct from January to really kick off 2018 and show you exactly what you're going to be playing on the system this year. All those hot new games like Animal Crossing and Punch-Out and Pikmin, F-Zero, just fever pitch screaming for brand new games. We got Mario doing the tennis, which is okay. Let's be happy here.
Did you say doing the tennis?
Doing the tennis.
Yeah.
That's how I describe it.
Oh,
that is horrible.
ooh.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
Cool thing about this game is that it's adding a story mode, which is the first one we've seen since the Game Boy Color version. Originally done by Camelot. That's the sort of RPG quest section of this game that makes it so much more interesting than just a basic-ass tennis game, which is what came to Wii U, which wasn't good. I think IGN gave that game like a 5-something out of 10, for those of you who don't know where we are. So this is cool, but I think after this week and sort of a general theme from the last few years on the internet is that audiences whip themselves up in a frenzy and expect the absolute universe here. It's early in the year. We are obviously going to get more announcements. We'll probably get another Direct in a couple of months, maybe even a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of disappointment about the stuff they announced. But again, it's like the middle of January. Like it's not an exciting time for things to be announced. It's kind of cool that we're getting anything announced. You know? Part of me was like, maybe they should have held off on this tennis announcement for like the tail end of some other thing. But I'm like, no, this is fine. This is totally,
That said, we're getting a bunch of ports And if it's stuff that you never played before, then whoop-de-doo, this is going to be an awesome year for you. If it's stuff you played before and you want to play again, well then buckle up, because you're doing that. And if it's stuff you played before that you're done with, well, we run a show called Nintendo Voice Chat every week where I tell you cool indie games that you should check out, because those will hold you over. And trust me, man, I've been living through the dark days of the Wii U for years back then, and that was kind of the only thing you could do, was just play weird-ass little indie games. So let's keep that going. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is coming to the system. Not the original one, which is weird.
That's odd.
Yeah. Hyrule Warriors is coming with Breath of the Wild costumes. The World Ends With You, and most importantly, Dark Souls Remastered. Which if
I think that's really the big takeaway.
If you never had your ass whooped all over the world, now's your chance. That game will humble you. But the cool thing about that game is that it's never been remastered before. So that's actually probably going to come to a bunch of other systems.
It's coming to Xbox One and PS4.
Yep. So this was not really a secret, because like most things, it kind of leaked. We saw placeholder websites for it and stuff like that, and you know, there's always some dude at Amazon France who snitches. You know,
no, I honestly, I know it's easy to be like, oh well, so much for new games, and I think we're going to get plenty of cool new games on Switch. But at the same time, the idea of it taking last gen's best games and porting them to something portable, that's really huge. Like I've always said that one of the most underrated systems or handhelds is the Sega Nomad, which came out at the very tail end of the Genesis's life cycle. And it was like a portable version of that. And if the Switch manages to kind of do some of that, I'm super down for that. Because, I mean, there are so many games out there that are like, they're huge, and they're things you gotta really invest a ton of time into. I mean, Dark Souls is a perfect example for that. It might not really be the best like pick up and play kind of game, but it's a huge investment of time. I think a lot of JRPGs are like this too, where if you have the opportunity to take it with you places, that's awesome.
I'm actually really fascinated to see how that game works as a portable game, because the idea of like sitting down and doing a run and getting killed is totally something you can do in like 4 or 5 minutes. And that kind of makes it ideal for, you know, sitting, waiting for the train, doing a poop.
Yeah, it's a great excuse to swear on the bus. You know, you'd be just shouting in the bathroom, shouting on the bus. You can do all kinds of shouting.
Yeah, I'm totally into that. Yeah, that game rules. I played it like not nearly enough, and then Bloodborne was really the one that got me into that whole series, or that sort of style of gameplay. And after that, I went on to Dark Souls 3 and Neo and, you know, all that crap. So yeah. I'm
now
down.
we did get a little bit of an update on stuff that's coming to Super Mario Odyssey, which is huge. It's great, right? Right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
So here's the thing with Mario Odyssey. It was very, very close to being my favorite video game of last year. Breath of the Wild edged it out at the very last second. Mario Odyssey has 999 moons in it, or just 800 and then 100 more you could buy, whatever the math is. I got them all. I 100% of that game, totally beat it. Great, fantastic. Waiting for new stuff. We got an idea of some new stuff today, and it's basically Luigi's balloon mode, which is okay.
So yeah, I like that. I like that they're like, hey,
Here he is.
Everyone loves Luigi's balloon. This looks like something that like somebody on Tumblr would Photoshop.
Yes,
That's such a goof.
No, this looks like a fake game that you would have made on Newgrounds back in the day. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics are awesome, and the concept is pretty interesting. It's basically turning the worlds that you've already played into a hide-and-go-seek mode, where you have a few seconds to 30 specifically to hide a balloon, and then someone else has to find it. And
It also sounds kind of sexual.
Yeah, it's a little sexual, but it's also a little tedious. But the cool thing is there's online leaderboards and stuff like that, and there might be balloons that people hide.
I've always wanted to play hide the balloon with my friends on the internet.
Yeah, with your friend with the plumber mustache.
Perhaps I can hide that balloon in that small cavern.
So you have 30 seconds to find the balloon. Maybe it's got, and we've got new costumes, including the Dark Souls one.
Hey, and then there's me on the left there.
Yep.
I like that.
And new filters. So, you know, you can make a gold coin out of Mario.
All right.
And then there's the IGN logo
Cool.
you can look at. So that's great. But like, I want Luigi playable in this game. I don't want him to show up in some garbage balloon costume.
I love that Nintendo has the running gag of just crapping on Luigi.
I know. Well, so like it kind of sucks, and so let's get into it, because I don't think it's entirely fair what Nintendo's been doing to Luigi for years now. It's not nice. Like that dude is putting in the same amount of work as everybody else, specifically Mario. He doesn't get anything in return. There's nothing there for him at the end. Let's talk about Super Mario Odyssey specifically. I want to tell you about these two brothers and how one of them is just like rich, reigning in money. He's got a beautiful girlfriend that gets lost a lot. And the other one is just like this dork that doesn't get anything and never gets any of the accolades, but puts in all of the work. So in Super Mario Odyssey, Mario has a ship, spoilers, called the Super Mario Odyssey. That's it.
Isn't it just called the Odyssey?
It's amazing. It's called the Odyssey. It's a giant spaceship with a globe on top. He can collect furniture inside. There's a coffee machine, probably like an espresso. You know, he gets some nice aromatic blends from Sandtown or wherever the hell he goes. And then he collects all these things. There's a Shiba Inu that moves in there towards the end of the game. Like, it's just great. There's a wardrobe full of costumes. Let's take a look at Luigi's vehicle. What does he have? Frickin' balloons. That's it. He's got 3 balloons in a backpack. This is an idiot's clothes. What kind of vehicle is that?
It's not even like a backpack. That's like the thing you used to carry DJ equipment, but he's like got it on his back.
Seriously, and Mario's like, hey, I'm gonna get in my spaceship. There's a bed, I can sleep, I can lounge on the couch. And Luigi's like, I'm going into the sky with my 3 balloons. This sucks. This is not fair. And this is a long-running thing of Luigi getting systematically screwed here. Let's take a look at the next image. Maybe some of you remember the only game Luigi ever starred in, Luigi's Mansion, a game where he could not jump.
That's like
Which is like a very special thing that Mario characters are supposed to do.
I like how it's also, it feels like the kind of thing that the brother would get, like, I don't know, some relative dies and they're like, Mario's like, hey Mario, you get money. Luigi, you get this this horrible estate that's full of dust and ghosts.
You get a haunted van full of ghosts.
Hey, can you perform an exorcism on this this huge money hole?
It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. All right, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. So now over here, I want to show you something. This is probably, get us out of here. This is the biggest example of Luigi getting systematically screwed in history. At the end of New Super Mario Bros. For Wii, which is why this game looks blurry. That's how video games used to look just a few years ago.
Thank you for numbering these.
Yeah, I want to make sure people do that. So Mario beats the game. Luigi's been there the entire time because it's a multiplayer game, right? He's been there. He's been burned his ass on fire. He got thrown in the pit. He had to fight the snakes and all the other bad stuff in that game. He takes a hot air balloon down. He lands. He gets out like a valet. He opens the door. Mario and the princess get in. They have this little nod with each other. They don't even look at him. He closes the door. He looks away, and they fly away without him, and he falls on the floor. This is embarrassing. This is utterly embarrassing. He gets nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I feel really bad for the guy, honestly.
Yeah. So it sucks. Let's talk about the year of Luigi. What did that net for Nintendo? $456 million loss. Great year, Luigi. Nailed it. Look at that. He got to hold on to the balloon. He didn't really do much.
Was that their way of like masking the fact that they knew the Wii U was gonna kind of tank and it was gonna be like a rough year, where they were just like, it's the year of Luigi, you know? It's like
That was them telling to investors, hey, we're gonna hold this L.
Hey, we're doing kind of like a DIY wedding.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like.
So this sucks. Luigi deserves better. I'm gonna start campaigning in the streets with a mustache for tall, skinny Italian men that live in the toilet so they can get their own game. And they can do better.
What kind of game would you want to see Luigi have?
I don't know. He had like new Super Luigi U, but it was like kind of gimped. It's just weird, man. I just want him to have his own game. I want him to jump. I want him to meet his own girlfriend at the end. He gets a hot air balloon, gets his own ship. He doesn't have balloons on his back. Just give him some stuff, man. You know?
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion doesn't count. That's not even a real. He's not even jumping around in that game. Look how pissed this dude is. Take a look how pissed this dude is. There it is. Look at him.
I love that picture. I love that that's just the thing. Like, just really.
Conclusion.
Look at that.
Give the Italian toilet man his own game where he doesn't get systematically screwed. Give him a hot air balloon and stop putting balloons on his back.
I don't even know what like a Luigi, like maybe like a return to that mansion and it's like not crappy. Like
yeah.
He's remodeled and it's nice and stuff.
Anyway, they also showed off some new powers for Kirby and stuff, so that's cute. That's good. That's a good dude.
Congratulations, Nintendo, on your huge announcements.
Anyway, this week was really great for other dumb things, such as CES.
Wait,
Computer Electronics Show.
The Computer Electronics Show. Who cares? It's the Consumer Electronics Show.
Computer Entertainment Salt.
Yeah, Computer Entertainment Salt 2018 happened again once more. This is always like a weird. This is kind of like a 1, 2, 3 not it in terms of working in the games, tech, whatever type of coverage thing that we do.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of Vegas. It's in the first 2 weeks of January.
Yeah. It's just a bad way to start your year.
And like a free trip to Vegas, that sounds great. It's Vegas in January. It's freezing.
Yeah.
And then it's like 20 football fields of just the strangest inventions.
Hey man, like, look, I'll put it this way. I love to travel. I love to travel for this job. I love to go to weird, seedy hotel rooms with you and get like blacked out drunk and wake up in the morning and shoot videos. That's a good life to have, okay? I'm not gonna BS you. That is a great life to have. I got like legitimate. What is the opposite of FOMO? Relief. Watching other people cover CES, having to be like, oh man, I'm not there.
Yeah, that's the dodge that bullet for
yeah. So, look, I love traveling. I love working all these shows. CES specifically, that is a snake oil convention.
Oh, it's It's amazing.
It's
And there's
like-
also just it's such a broad, like, for the record, before E3 started in 1995, they used to roll, like, there was a hall of CES that was for video games. And it's kind of good that they've separated that because for the most part there's no gaming stuff. There's like Switch controller cases or something.
CES also it answers the questions no one's ever asked, or that your phone answered 8 years ago.
Right.
CES is constantly like, what if you could take photos anywhere?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my phone does that. What if you had a calculator you could bring anywhere and you'd never have to fight over the tip again? Yeah, my phone does that. What if you could listen to music on the go? Yeah, my phone does that. But instead they're like, you know what you need? You need an app in your house so that your dog can listen to Beethoven. You're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
So I mean, honestly, we're at a kind of a weird point where technology has taken over. Like our phones do everything. We kind of just, I mean, I don't know. You've got like stuff like Uber and Amazon Prime and ways to just kind of enjoy the future. And Wowza. I mean, you're all watching streaming internet video. It's great. Like people have like Alexa in their home. They're like, Alexa, order more peanuts and also play me banjo music or whatever.
You know, just saying that just triggered a whole bunch of Alexas.
Alexa, play banjo music. Let us know if banjo music just came on in your house.
It did.
Anyway, that's the thing is there's a lot of great things out there, a lot of great ideas, a lot of great products, and we see them and they kind of sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes like a new thing will change the way we approach technology. CES is basically where everything is fighting for that attention.
Yeah.
And frequently it's like maybe somebody had an idea for how to kind of reinvent the wheel, and somebody else was like, let's give that person money. This is going to be the next big thing. And both of those people were very wrong. Mm-hmm. So let's start things out. Here is something, it's called the New Me. And I want you to like try to take a look at these images and guess where the product that they're trying to really show off is. Because
it's a woman that will make you sit down.
Close. It's actually that toilet in the background.
What?
I love that they've got these like Blade Runner-ass like shots where it's like, you finally will have a holographic girlfriend.
What? That's
who
a
will remember.
toilet?
That's a toilet.
That dude's gonna poop in front of the whole neighborhood like that?
Well, the whole idea is he doesn't want his holographic girlfriend to know that he poops. So he's got this thing that looks like, I don't know, like a Frank Lloyd Wright building, but it's in his, is that just in the middle of his living room? Like it's also, like, it's right there.
Is he see-through?
Vaguely, yeah. There's a lot of really very weird, strange things going on
Is
here.
this where ghosts poop?
I don't know. I think they're just trying to make it look like the future, but they're doing that strange stock photo thing. But anyway, this is the Kohler New Me, and it is, I believe, a $7,800 toilet that will, I don't know, memorize your BM cycles. It'll make a jingle. It'll talk to you. We already have like, oh, look at you, you funny ghost. That's Brian. Anyway,
That's not my hand. That was weird.
Yeah, we already have like those Japanese toilets that are like, yeah, they'll play a little song and they'll heat the lid for you. This one's like, yeah, how do we one up that? And it's like, well, do we really need to? Did anyone need that? I don't know.
Can I save you $7,800? If you work in an office, go take a dunk in the copy machine for free.
We're going to talk
There you
more
go.
about copy machines in a second, but another invention, this is first of all...
This is horrible. You can't just put this up here and walk away. This is a horrible thing to show people.
You want to talk about one?
Yeah, it's an $8,000 toilet where that guy has to poop in front of the whole neighborhood, and it doesn't even look, what is this? Awful. And he's like, yo, I just dunked. How you feeling? She's like, it's cool.
I feel like people who look like that don't even go poop.
Did she bring like one of those
They leave like 3 ball bearings in like a ceramic dish, and they're
Did
like,
she bring an envelope with the winners?
I don't know no, that's her hair. She's like pulling on it.
No, look at it. Move us out of the way. Hold on.
Get us out of there.
Get us out of there. There we go.
Thank you. This is such a stupid show.
Look at her hand. She's holding, and the winner is,
I think that's what they
for
call...
the poop that the most people saw, Frank, the roof pooper. This is awful. All right, go to the next one.
All right, yeah. So that's if you got a lot of money and you hate having it, well, great news. You could literally just flush it down the toilet. So this is actually a big thing. The weird thing about CES is it used to be, Consumer Electronics Show is a show about electronics for consumers. It's for regular people like you and me. It's a new TV, a new phone, or whatever. Sometimes it's more just like, hey, here's technology. Toyota came out, those famous electronics makers, the car company, and they unveiled this thing that's called the e-Palette, and this is going to be autonomous trucks, like robot truck cars. We got an image of one here. They've partnered with a bunch of people, including Pizza Hut and Uber and Mazda, which is weird because I guess they're part of, I don't know, and then Amazon, and then something called Didi. And basically these are going to be, like automatic store trucks.
What?
Think like a...
This looks like a rolling threat. I don't like Pizza Hut.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys have been watching Black Mirror, but this season has an episode where there is one of these, and the entire kind of crux of the episode, sort of, is that somebody gets hit by it, and they're filing an insurance claim. And so, like, I don't know, 2 weeks later, Pizza Hut's like, ta-da! And everyone's like, yeah, that wasn't really great. We were really wild about that. You know, like the whole thing is being like, how fast was the pizza machine going? Also, I don't know, like people like to have jobs. I mean, people don't like to have them, but you kind of die if you don't. You need to make money. So
why do they always make the tires on these things look like they're futuristic too?
Because they want the whole thing to look futuristic.
They can have regular tires and you know it.
But I mean, I guess the idea is that these would be like little modular stores, sort of somewhere between a car and a vending machine, and it would just like drive to a place. I mean, with Pizza Hut, it would probably be like, your pizza is ready. Come outside to the curb. Your pizza will wait for 5 whole minutes. Come get your pizza. And then you go and it's got like a big barcode on it and stuff.
Question, can I use the $8,000 toilet after I use this thing? Because I might need it.
Probably. And it would refunnel your... That's the thing, is the toilet doesn't even like turn your poop into something cool. It doesn't even like do anything with it. It's just like a really nice place to go to the bathroom. And you can still put it in a crappy house. Like it doesn't have to be in like a nice... Anyway, all right.
That doesn't even look like a hut.
No, it's not really a hut. It's more of like a Winnebago. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. This is something that you saw. You talked about how this is a snake oil convention. There is a product called the Foldimate. It is $980, and it is a thing that looks like an office copier, but it folds your clothes for you.
And you can poop in it.
You can poop in anything if you just do that. But yeah, so Brian, tell us a little bit about this thing, because you saw it in action.
Sure, so when I saw it in action 2 years ago at CES, I'm entirely convinced that it was a wall with 4 dudes inside it who were secretly folding the clothes. And they would just like throw a shirt in there, and like 10 seconds later it'd be like, your clothes have been folded. Like this like shirt would come out all folded up. So I guess now it exists, which is great, because I know about you guys, but I waste up to thousands of hours a day folding my shirts. It is the ultimate nightmare, is to take a shirt and to just take the sides of it back and then to put the bottom of it in half, just fold it. It's just the hardest thing in the world to do. So to have just an incredibly expensive robot that can do it for me, who I almost am positive has a small man inside who's secretly doing this, that's just a great thing to have at home. And remember, you can poop in it. Just like you can with any other product on this list.
Honestly, you might ask, who is this product made for? It costs $980 and it folds your shirts for you. Well, for me, actually, I make $980 an hour, and it takes me over an hour to fold my clothes. So once I track down one of these bad boys, it'll pay for itself in 1 round of laundry.
That's true.
No, it's not true. I don't get paid $980 an hour. I mean, the whole thing with this stupid show is that it's a lot of stuff that's like, we made a product for, it's like the car that made for Homer. Like it's such a pie in the sky idea of like, this is made for one person who thought it was great on every level, and just sort of like, who would buy this?
You remember the Jetsons? I think one of the running themes that we didn't really learn when watching the Jetsons is that George Jetson is an idiot. Like, that dude is a dumbass. And that's why he has all that stuff. He wakes up in the morning, he's like, I can't get dressed on my own. And a robot's like, I got clothes for you. I put a hole in the pants to make a shirt. I'm an idiot too. Like, I think that's what these products are for.
Yeah.
They're for dumbass George Jetson idiots.
I mean, there is also that creeping normalcy of machines in your life. I mean, there was a time when I have an electric toothbrush. You have an electric toothbrush. I have an electric razor. It's these things that used to be like, these are for like rich businessmen people. Now it's like an electric razor that recharges is like $30 on Amazon, which winds up being cheaper in the long run than buying like analog razors.
Right.
Gradually, I could see a washing machine in, I don't know, 2050 that dries your clothes and folds them for you, and it just craps out this big stack of like carefully bound things. And of course, you've got to buy like replacement, tape that it packs it all up with for you, something like that. But right now, it's not there yet.
Yeah, it's just like everything else. Like, I feel like that we're getting a bad hand dealt to us on the future and the apocalypse right now. We're just
I don't know. It's science fiction. Speaking of science fiction, what do you think? What do you guys think this is? What do you think this funny bean is? What could it be?
That is a speaker for your ass.
Close. It's actually a spooning robot. This is the Somnox. This is a smart pillow. This is a machine. This is so creepy. This is so Black Mirror and awful. It's basically one of those like 80s toys, like the glowworms. Yeah. Except it's got like a Fitbit inside it, and it will learn how to breathe. So it will breathe. So it's like you're cuddling with this like warm. I think it heats up. It'll track your sleep cycles, and it'll gradually start to match your breathing. So it's this like messed up big bean that has like devices in it.
So it's
and
like a dead robot bean baby that breathes?
Yeah, I don't even know what you call this. It's like,
It's like a night burrito?
It's kind of a night burrito. It's really just, I could be wrong here. This is a crowdfunding success somehow. I might be wrong here, but the price point I found was, I believe, 589 euro at retail, which I believe is something like $700. Again, I could be wrong. If this thing was 50 bucks, I'd be like, whatever, it's a $50 sleep robot. But if this is over $200 for a sleeping spooning robot, we've got a problem. Just take pills. Just eat the pills and go to bed. You don't need that. That's such a creepy thing. It's also, this looks like a stock photo of a woman who lost a child.
Yeah, seriously.
That's a very bad.
Let's get bleak. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. So anyway,
hey, I'm gonna save you $20 or $700, whatever.
That's kind of a difference.
Go home, buy a whole bunch of bananas, put them in one of those takeout like burlap bags that you bring to the grocery store, microwave it, squeeze it, and bring it to bed. There you go.
That's your go-to.
Go to bed with a bag of hot bananas, you idiot.
All right. I mean, I would have gone with like rice or something, but sure, bananas
Mr.
work
Dreadful
too.
in the comments says, they have one of those that's a set you and another person both have one. You can feel each other sleep. If only there was a way to feel someone that was next to you.
Yeah. You could also go down to the local anime convention and get a large body pillow with that guy from Yuri on Ice on it.
You know what I do every night?
Who knows?
I bring
They're both named Yuri.
I bring Shovel Knight to bed and I give him a nice hug.
I have a live Pomeranian dog I sleep with. Anyway.
He's got a weird paunch in the front of him.
Who, the dog or that?
No, this
guy.
Look at that. Hey.
Yeah, I don't like that little pooch. I don't like the idea of making plate mail out of stuffed animals. Anyway, finally, the last thing we're going to talk about from CES. This one is just like, this is just a head scratcher.
Just a heads up, I only have $3,400 left after this segment. So
okay, well, good news, because I have a way you're going to earn that $3,400 back over the course of 2 years, but you're going to have to put down $3,400 up front. Kodak, you might know them as the film company for back when cameras required film. They've made something called the Kodak Cash Miner, which is a Bitcoin mining... it's a Bitcoin miner.
You liars!
That
is a PC box fan connected to like the thing they caught ghosts in Ghostbusters.
That's pretty much it.
You liars!
So if you look carefully, up there is an Ethernet port. You connect this thing to the internet. This is, of course, after you give... so this is the best thing. You can't even buy this. You lease it for 2 years. You give Kodak $3,400 for 2 years. And this thing hooks up to the internet, and it mines Bitcoins. And supposedly, in theory, I think that'll turn $375 into $9,000 over 2 years, which isn't overnight.
This product is like how I used to do book reports.
I don't even know
basically
if this...
on the bus on the way to school, I'd be like, the old man in the sea. Oh man, who did he fight? Hope it was like a whale or like a wolf. I don't know what sort of oceanic creatures.
Listen, I could
he
give
was
you
very sad after he lost his whole family at sea, and my teacher's like, that never happened.
I could give you a regular book report, or I could finish my great project that will be done next week.
Why does this look like this was like part of stuff that Kodak used in the 80s? First of all, part of it is that they haven't changed their logo since half a century ago. Secondly, this is a wreck.
Yeah.
This is a big lying box of wreck, and I hate it. And it's for
honestly,
idiots.
if
you're dumb if you buy it.
Just 3D print, like take a takeout box and paint it silver. Like this looks like a homemade thing. Homemade things look better than this. People at this point are making their own cool homemade things.
Seriously.
This is terrible.
This looks like some garbage Doc Brown has in his trunk.
Also, just side note, after you've leased this thing for $3,400, Kodak takes half of it, which is the most brilliant scheme in the world.
What?
Like you say this is a snake oil convention. This is like if the guy who sold you the snake oil was also like, oh no, it turns out snake oil is also poison. You're gonna have to come pay me for the antidote to the snake oil. Ha ha. This is just, I mean, it's a brilliant scheme on Kodak's part, and also it could completely pan out. But what kind of weird future is it where this like analog film company sells these weird janky boxes, leases these weird janky boxes, and people buy them, lease them, and suddenly Kodak is on top of the world because all of the money that they've generated from these things, they get half of. Like that's such a crazy, like, I mean, I don't know.
What is wrong with you, CES?
Yeah. So CES is a weird dystopian hellhole. So that's some of the stuff from it. And if you enjoyed it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's it.
You'll love a sharper image catalog.
Yeah. Hammock or Schlemmer, coming to stores in 1993.
All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite big boy with the huge nipples, and that's Kylo Ren. That's right.
Yeah.
Remember that villain you've been waiting your entire life to see? If you all saw The Last Jedi, which I know you did because you left the comments about how you hated it and it ruined your childhood, remember that Kylo Ren is back and he's buffer than ever. And I don't even know what this is. Let's take a look at this man. Disney released the high-res image of this, even though like they have brand safety guides. And
I don't
stuff
think
like
they
that.
even released this. I think that somebody got a very high-res rip.
No, this is it.
Are they
Let's take a
really?
look.
Seriously?
Just put it up. Put
All
up
right,
the
here it
picture.
is.
Let's see the picture.
Here's the swole boy.
Ready?
Oh, there he is. There's that man.
Come on. Come on.
dude.
He's not a
Okay,
Force
back
ghost.
to-
Yes. Yeah. Come on. Let's
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, this is. I want to talk about this. This is so far one of the biggest memes, one of the dankest memes of 2018 so far is Ben Swolo, as he's
Yeah.
called. This is of course Kylo Ren with his shirt off. Who they made Adam Driver very, very wide. He's a very wide man.
I don't understand this. Like, I'll be honest with you. I go to the gym a couple times a week. I'm trying to get bigger, but I don't know how you make this. Like, this is weird.
There's that Simpsons where like Lenny gets like the ab machine and he uses it backwards and gets abs on his back. I feel like Adam Driver was doing exercises sideways by accident, or like he's just so wide.
Yeah, he's really like.
Yeah.
How do you get that?
Yeah. So
How do you get that?
The
Is there-
internet-
is there like a machine at the gym that takes a beer gut and turns it into a block?
I don't know. Like, how do you make your muscles go up? It's weird. But anyway, the
Tommy
internet.
Tangerines in the comments says, "Look at them pepperoni."
They do look like they are some big pepperonis. Also, like the high-waisted joggers look is just odd.
It also makes his head look so tiny.
Yeah, he's a very odd man. Oh, that's. I don't like this at all.
Hey Ray, how's it going? Your parents were a bunch of drunks and they sold you for nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing. I'm negging you, but I love you. But I love you. But I love you. But you're nothing. I love you.
All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's take a look at some of the weird stuff the internet's done with this. The main thing people do is just really accentuate the wideness, and they don't care about
I like that
aspect
they made his
ratios
hands
or
gloves.
scaling. Like that's just. I kind of want to see one of those realistic drawings of that. I mean, there's a lot of fan art of this out there. There's
Is this a dad bod? Like, I know that was the thing a couple years
That's
ago.
not a dad bod. That's it's a swole boy.
It's weird.
It's like it's thick and swole at once. People have been making. People are making.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, I know. People are making custom figures of it. Here's the Lego minifig. I honestly don't quite know how they did that.
Are those like white Hulk arms?
I think I don't know what piece that is.
I think they're from like Lar. What?
So this is one approach. This is one approach to the swole Ben Swolo, the swole boy. Another one is this, where they focused more on the nips. I don't know what piece is mounting that on there, but I like they got the background in there.
Yeah, they just use like a Duplo basically.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then, it's also getting put into games. Force Awakens had a character creator, of course, and someone didn't waste any time making this, which it's not quite wide enough. I feel like you need like the Hulk body for that to really get it right.
Yeah, I like this though. This is great.
Yeah, and then it's getting stranger. Obviously, making a custom character in Legos, it's fine. It's easy enough. But people have put him into Battlefront 2.
Oh!
And the pepperonis are really out of control there.
Oh yeah, man, he's got some real big sausages. Also, let's take a look at those arms. They just skinned over his like weird like curly turtleneck fabric arms.
Yeah,
they just makes it look like he has baggy old wrinkle skin.
Yeah, they didn't bother with it. They were just like, oh, yeah, we're close enough.
Man, that
So
guy, whoever made this has never seen
If I
nipples.
was playing that game and this thing just came at me around the corner, I would just like put up my hands and I'd be like, no, I don't want to play it.
Seriously,
I'm
that is
enough.
horrible.
That's very bad.
Guy looks like he's like part Rathtar.
But of course, it's the internet, so it's not the only thing that people are putting it into. There's also, of course, people doing this, which is great. It also really, I remember glancing at this and being like, what's that odd, like, what's those weird dots on the side there? And then being like, oh, that's not actually Dark Souls. That's the man in the game. Like he looks so weird and grainy and like low res, and that of course that's a screenshot from a cam rip of the movie.
Yep.
But also that's what's hilarious about this is we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg here because this movie isn't even out officially on Blu-ray, so people aren't even pulling like proper rips. They're working from like low res stuff, and that's why we're getting.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember if you head on down to the local wharf and you suckle on some mammalian animal moobs, you might get some big old gulps of milk that'll get you big and strong like Ben Swolo.
Yeah, it's just it's just real weird.
That's probably one of the worst collection of words I've ever put on the show.
I think this is one of my favorites, though. I like that this is bled over into the real world. Somebody went down to their local, their Walmart or whatever, and they went to the toys section and they put another accessory in the role play section with all the lightsabers. And that is, of course, I don't even know what you call it, like a tennis girdle, whatever this is. So you want your oddly muscular 8-year-old to really roleplay The Last Jedi properly?
My God.
Get them a masculine corset. So what I really want to know is who is going to be the first company to actually capitalize on this? Are we going to see? I would be willing to bet that this is going to happen sooner than later. I bet you we're going to see somebody at Funko put out a Funko Pop of shirtless Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Probably won't look like this. I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more along the style guide. But what if it was? What if they really did that?
God, I want to be this guy for Halloween. I would just get like a big fake body and then just put really high yoga pants up.
I almost guarantee you that we're going to see people in those like big like inflatable like muscle man suits walking around. I just like, I love the internet for this. Honestly, I saw this thing a while ago about how a lot of people made peace with the prequels because of the memes.
Right.
And it's like, I think that's how I mean, we kind of had like a similar thing as old dudes with like, oh, like you kind of make peace with Return of the Jedi's goofier parts after watching Clerks, and they're talking about, you know, Muppets and dudes in the Death Star dying. But like, in this case, all the weird memes of like, you know, Anakin hating sand, or like, I don't know, I have the higher ground. Like, there's so much strange, goofy stuff in Star Wars that when you really take it by itself and look at it closely.
Captain Ash Sparrow on the YouTube chat says, "When I first saw you, I saw raw, shredded muscle."
There's another one. There's so many of these out there. There's one where Snoke is like, "Take that ridiculous thing off," and it's like Kylo Ren wearing a shirt, and then it's just like him taking it off, and like Snoke's just like, "Oh." So anyway.
I don't even know how to begin to make this segue, this transition, but I grew up a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. Max, not so much, but we talked about this a little earlier in the show, or before the show started. I like Scooby-Doo because Scooby-Doo is like if like half of the Ninja Turtles didn't want to be there. Like basically,
I mean, to be fair, Raphael's always going off and like
that's true. He's doing
like
his own
binge drinking on a
he's going
cliff
to
or whatever he
and
does.
stuff like that. Revell makes model kits, and we built them on the show before. We talked about them before. They started making model kits for kids, basically.
Jinkies.
And they're really, really cool. So they made them for Scooby-Doo. Max and I are both pretty big into model kits. We build a lot of Star Wars ones.
Can I just get in front of this also? I know that like somebody in the comments is being like, "What are you guys talking about Scooby-Doo model kits in 2018? Who cares? It's like a van full of stoners. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
also,
so
they sent them to us.
We built these last night. That was our homework last night. I sent Max home with the plane, and I got the van. The plane goes for $22, or the plane goes for $15 actually, and the car goes, or the mystery machine goes for $22. But they're really cool. They're snap together model kits, so no glue required or anything like that.
And they're pre-painted. I mean, and we've talked about like Gundams and stuff like that. Where this is like, these are basically toys you just build yourself.
Yeah, and so they're ages 6 and up, which I really appreciate, because I think that like if I was a kid and I was 6 and I got this, I would want to start building more model kits. Like, I think this is the first, like a great introductory model kit for a kid, right? And so you can put Scooby-Doo in the car, you put the top on it. It comes with stickers and decals that like look really nice and really authentic. It rolls. The
figures are like really well painted too. I'm actually kind of surprised. And you put them together, which is weird because I dropped Velma's head and it rolled under the desk last night, and I was like, this is gonna be awkward on the show tomorrow if I have this headless woman.
I actually lost Velma's arm for a second under my couch. So
yeah, they're really neat.
Weird night. Hey, what's up, boys?
Look at Shaggy there. That's great.
But I love Scooby-Doo because Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they just want to eat. That's all they want to do. They want to hang out in the car until it gets smoky, and then they want to go to the restaurant. And sometimes they go in the haunted basement, and they made like real tall cheeseburgers and stuff like that. And then this trust fund dude and his 2 girlfriends up top are always trying to get into hijinks and scrambles. And these dudes, they don't want any part of that.
They do.
Just want to go hang out.
So my thing with Scooby-Doo is I never hated it. I watched Scooby-Doo the way most people watch horror movies, where I was just like, oh, what's wrong with you? What are you going up the stairs for? Why would you go in the basement, you idiots? And Scooby-Doo is even dumber than horror movies, because it's these. It's just just a mess of a company.
Yep.
You know, like theoretically, somebody's trying to hunt ghosts. I think mostly Fred is trying to make out with Daphne, and Velma's trying to keep that from happening for reasons I won't go into. But Shaggy and Scooby are just sort of there, and I don't know why they need a plane. Like, what are they fighting, the ghost in the sky? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. They get in all sorts of hijinks, man. But like, I don't know. This is for ages 6 and up. I'm totally keeping this mystery machine at my desk because it rules. I don't care if it's child stuff. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you to Revell for sending these over. These are really, really cool. I think if you have kids or you are a kid, if you are a kid, I don't know what you're doing watching the show, man. This goes places.
Check this out. Get bashing. You get all kinds of weird there.
I feel like that happens.
Yeah, I think it happens too.
I don't think you should be doing what you're doing right now.
What are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
Look at that. I think it's great.
I don't know.
What's wrong? It's 2018, man. Get with it.
Anyway, those are the Scooby-Doo model kits. They're available right now. You can get them on Amazon. If you're a little older and you love video games, which I'm sure you do because you're watching IGN stuff, you should check out the Super Retrocade. Yes, that's correct. There is another sort of portable / tiny micro console available now. This one's interesting because it has 90 games on it, which is more than the 30 that Nintendo will give you on the NES or Super NES Classic. And it's got a weird mix of games like Ghosts and Goblins. It's got Mega Man 2, Strider, Burger Time. So it's kind of all over the place. But let's open this guy up. This one is available right now. It's $60. Comes in this cool packaging, and it's white. It's very bright white. It's not based on an actual retro console because this didn't really ever exist, but it's got a bunch of stuff on it. Cool thing about it is it's got an SD card slot on the back, meaning you can add homebrew.
What could you possibly do with that?
I don't
Imagine
know.
that.
What
Comes
if there
with a
were
USB
other things you
cable.
could put on here?
Imagine that.
Yeah. So this one's really nice and compact. HDMI output, AV outputs, and obviously the adapter comes in there. 2 controllers. And
Take a look at these guys.
Yeah, this is really cool. Got the HDMI cable and everything. So
And you could probably plug these into your computer.
yeah. Can I see that box? I just want to run through some of the games real quick while you open this up.
There you go.
So let's talk about some of the games. We have arcade classics: 1942, 10-Yard Fight, 1943, Air Duel, Armored Warriors, Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja, Bionic Commando, Blade Master, Boogie Wings, Captain Commando, Cobra Commando, Commando, Double Dragon 3, not Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 3 is called the Rosetta Stone. I didn't realize that. Is that about them learning French? Dragon Breed, Exciting Hour, the Pro Wrestling Network, Final Fight, Forgotten Worlds, Ghosts of Goblins. It goes and goes and goes, right? There's a ton of them. Let's say you have retro hardware that still plays games. Guess what? They still make Super Nintendo games. Isn't that completely insane? So these are a set of brand new Super Nintendo games that are out now. We have the Joe and Mac collection, which has all 3 games. We've got the Data East All-Star collection, which basically has stuff like Bad Dudes and Buggy Popper and Burger Time and Ring King, that weird one where it looks like they're kind of, you know what's going on.
I think my favorite thing about listing off a whole lot of old video games is you could absolutely just make stuff up and throw it in there.
Then there's the Data East collection, which has Fighter's History, Fighter's History 2, Side Pocket, Magical Drop, and Magical Drop 2. These are straight up carts. So like, they come with a little bit of fanfare. They come with some stickers and some pins.
Look at that.
Yeah. So that is a straight up Super Nintendo game. Like, that's crazy. And this is effectively an NES game. Let's take a look. Yeah. So it's an NES game right there. And it's obviously different than we've seen from the Nintendo Entertainment System carts before. Comes with one of these boys. Remember these guys?
I love the sleeves.
The sleeve.
They also got these pins. This one just says Joe and Mac, so if you want to be like, who are you voting for? You're like, I'm voting for the caveman.
Burger Time stickers. If you're trying to eat healthy, you can put stickers of burgers all over the place.
some of those.
Yeah, there we go.
I can put those on my laptop.
Sweet.
I actually really like this guy. Look at that.
No, he's great. So yeah, these are out right now. Lots of old video games, lots of old retro stuff. I'm glad to see this stuff is still going because, I don't know, I grew up with these games. So it's cool to see cartridges are still being made. Yeah. Max, what do we got up next?
So we played a real bad video game. It's a slow time of year for game releases. I hopped on the PlayStation Store and I found a game called Sword of Fortress: The Azumuzum. It's very bad.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, it's Brian and Max from Up at Noon, and we're playing a weird... I don't even know what it is. This is Sword of Fortress.
It's created in development by Gilson B. Pontes. Max, learn that name because you will soon know it. It's a Gilson B. Pontes game.
Sweet. Good old-fashioned Gilson B. Pontes. So is this like Infinity Blade or like low-budget Skyrim?
It's a $20 game. It's on the PlayStation Store this week. I saw it on the Sony blog announcing that it was coming out. I've never heard of it. I Googled it. There's nothing on the internet about it. I found like a forum post saying don't buy this game.
So the game shows you the video of the game before you start the game?
Pretty much,
That's
yeah.
unnecessary.
I'm trying to figure out how to... I don't know if you have to sit through this entire...
It's kind of like seeing the movie trailer right before you see the movie.
And that's literally the video they show on Press Any Button. Wow.
Okay, so this was made by one person?
This was made by one person,
That's
and
amazing.
that should be applauded that somebody gets out there and tries that. But maybe it shouldn't be on the store for $20.
Whoa.
So
Megado. Okay, so this is Captain...
This is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Here he is. This is your guy.
Do we don't get an introduction of who he is?
Nope. Oh, but it's written by Gilson.
Hell yeah.
Written,
My boy's back.
Like, what is written? I don't know. Like, there's no dialogue. There's no, like...
Is it raining? Or is that an Instagram filter?
It's a little bit of both.
Like
it's
film
kind
grain.
of raining. It's got film grain. It's got, like, weird shadow. It's got lightning, but it's also sunny out. So I'm pretty confused.
Yeah, this is a weird... This is like living in Florida. Like, it's the sunny, but it looks like it's about to burst in a rain.
Yeah. So really, honestly, part of the reason I want to do this Let's Play is just so that it's out there, and anybody else who Googles this game actually finds something and knows not to buy this game because it's very, very bad. It's very bad. Oh, there's a thing on there's a waypoint in the distance. It is.
Good. Let's go check it out.
I gotta line it up perfectly to see how far away it is.
So, for the interest of clarity here, early January, not historically the greatest time for video games. Obviously, there's a few exceptions to that rule, but generally when you jump on your eShop or Xbox Live or, PSN store, you're going to find not the greatest, not the cream of the crop, as they say. Not the greatest games in the world. This one specifically... is interesting. What's up with this Gilson v. Pontes dude? What's his history?
I couldn't really find anything. For a guy who's got his name all over the game, I don't really find the information about who he is or what he's made. People on this forum post that said, "Don't buy this guy." For some reason, the controller's vibrating. I don't really know why.
There's probably a secret underneath you.
Somebody says this guy's other games are, it's called like Soul Braid or something, and there's another one, Pillar of Sword of Eternity. He actually got in trouble back in 2016. I think this is the same guy. Based on the game I'm playing, it would seem like it. There's a game that got in trouble for just straight up lifting assets from other games, including like Skyrim, and it used music from Ori and the Blind Forest. But there's no paper trail, so I'm really unclear how this winds up on the PlayStation Store. Because like they'll be like, oh. Sorry, looks like this game's going to get delayed. It didn't make cert. And you're like, okay, so you have some kind of test that games have to pass.
Right. Wait, yeah. Where's that like Shuhei seal of quality? Right. Like what's going on here?
Well, there's that dragon.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like half a mile away still.
I'll be honest with you. Like from a technical level, this is pretty impressive that one person built it. That the draw distance is great. The graphics aren't the worst.
No, it looks like a student game.
Yeah,
but that shouldn't be for sale. So
what interests me is that this person did make the entire game themselves. Like, did they animate everything, or did they go on like asset websites, get textures? And
I'd be willing to bet this isn't entirely from the ground up.
I'll be honest with you. So far, the gameplay is not good.
What are you talking about? Look at all these different options. I've got the menu open.
This is the whole menu?
That's the whole menu. For the record, there's no save. I'm pressing the touchpad and he's attacking. You do have some other options. You've got I think a smaller sword. Okay. There's the big sword.
Really dark.
There's the small. No, there's your bow and arrow.
Okay.
It's also really weird. You can shoot your bow and arrow. Look at it just kind of shoots off to the side there.
Does it? You can't even aim it.
No. There's no reticle. You just kind of do that. So let's try to get to this dragon. This, I think, is the first boss of the game. There's no tutorial. There's no nothing.
There's no story.
Like I've made stuff, and I've looked at it, and I'm like, is this something I want to put out there for the world? And I understand being like, if you're proud of something, but maybe be like, is this worth people's money? You know?
That bums me out because it's like there's kids that are probably looking for like a cool open world fantasy adventure game, and they see the trailer for this, and they're like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then this is it.
The trailer looks good. I haven't seen anything from the trailer in the game so far in terms of what it actually looks like to fight something.
So the music is really epic for just a dude walking through some reeds.
Also, we haven't picked up anything. There's no apparently you press X to interact with stuff, but I haven't really seen that happening quite yet.
Okay. Can you run?
This is me running.
It looks like you're sneaking.
Yeah.
That's your run?
Yeah. I think it's amazing we're in a day and age where one person can make a game and put it up on the internet to sell it, but
okay,
I don't know, maybe dream smaller.
Can you try?
There's not even. Is there even a?
No.
You can't even quit the game. I'm pressing that button just shoots arrows.
You can't even quit the game in the game, so you have to just shut off. You have to just back out.
I mean, that's like, oh, I finished building your house. Oh, where's the front door? What?
That's it?
Are you kidding me? Wait, no.
What? That was an invisible wall?
Okay, that's an invisible wall.
Are you running along an invisible wall right now?
Yep. So yeah, that's Sword of Fortress, the Onimusm. Don't buy this game.
Oh my god.
Maybe write a letter to your local PlayStation store and tell them not to sell this game either. This game should not be $20.
This is genuinely like one of the worst games I've ever seen on PS4, and definitely the worst game I've seen on PS4 this year.
How did they sign off on this?
I don't know.
Like, you can get mad at whatever the latest game there is to get mad at. There's a lot of bad games out there, but at the very, very bare baseline minimum, the game should function. It should be something.
You can't even walk into the sea to kill yourself.
This would have been a killer tech demo in, like, 1997.
Yeah, seriously.
To show off at GDC and be like, here's a great new idea I have for free roaming in an environment. But
ladies and gentlemen, that's Sword of Fortress. It's sort of finished, or not at all. What? That's not even the sea. It's just like a map of Nebraska.
Are you fucking kidding me? All right. Anyway, that's the game.
That's it. Sword of Fortress. Spend your $20 on literally anything else.
Yep. I'm going to just delete that. Right. Just delete it right now. Get that off of the hard drive.
Goodbye.
Yep. Goodbye, game. Anyway,
nice to see you.
For literally literally go watch any other video, any other game. Any game.
Let's play the horse game.
Just any game. We can watch the horse game.
This is so bad. This is a
Horse Racing 2016.
We'll see you soon.
Yep.
Look at that. Better
Horse
game.
Racing
Right off the bat.
2016.
Much better. Horse Racing 2016.
It even
Number 1
has
year for horse racing.
other horses.
Hell yeah. They got that logo.
And we're back. Obviously, this is a weird show. We get to talk about a bunch of different things. We had the Mystery Machine. I touched the front of Shovel Knight. We had the Kylo Ren boobs and stuff like that. We got a very special gift this week from a listener named Kevin. He actually wrote to our other show, The Comedy Button. He said, I was listening to an episode of The Comedy Button, and I heard that Anthony had an Ewok cell and that the rest of you did not. I thought I could remember that because I had a bunch of cells from a while ago from a comic book store. So he sent them over. These are awesome. So these are original animation cells from the Ewok cartoon that ran between 1985 and just right before 1987. Hand-drawn animation cells, and they hand-painted. The sketches are underneath.
Yeah, there's the pencils.
These are really, really cool. So I didn't know a ton about the Ewok cartoon. I think I just missed it growing up, and also it wasn't on TV very long. But it starred Warwick and his family, Willie, Weechie, Winda, Deed, Shodu, and Urfam.
Wow, you didn't watch that show? You missed out on the show.
And it was sort of wacky adventures on Endor leading up to the events of Return of the Jedi. So in that way, it was sort of the first prequel that wasn't a comic book or extended universe.
Yeah, I mean, it was also. It's funny because people were like, "Hey, George Lucas just wanted to cash in on kids stuff when he made Return of the Jedi and put Ewoks in there," and then he was like, "Well, no, I didn't. Anyway, here's a Care Bears knockoff with Ewoks in it." It's funny that there were like little kid bear shows were very big in the '80s. You had Ewoks, you had Care Bears, and you had Gummy Bears. Mm-hmm. They were all kind of sort of the same idea, but just sort of different too. Yeah, I like that if you move them back and forth, it looks like they're very frightened.
But yeah, he says to divide them up as you see fit. As you can see, there's the individual numbers down there.
Have you smelled them?
No.
They smell like a hospital. It's great.
Ooh, it does smell like a hospital. It smells like an antiseptic tank.
I like it.
They're not great.
I like seeing this because you can actually you can see the paint on the back.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
It probably got someone very sick.
I don't know the names of these individual character names. I like what this guy's doing here. Right? We've all been there.
Yeah,
I
know that feeling.
That face. Is that his tail coming at the front of his?
Yeah, that's probably a rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is a rope.
That's it.
Anyway, so these are the original animation cells for the Ewok cartoon. We have them now.
Yeah.
What's next is what do we do with them?
Yeah.
Here's how it looked in motion, which is pretty amazing.
If anybody at old Lucasfilm wants to remaster this bad boy, well, you're going to have to go through us because we have the cells.
Yep.
And that's how remastering is done.
You know what that's going to cost you? It's going to cost you $8 and all the Bib Fortuna merchandise you have.
No, if you ever want a one-of-a-kind collectible that's very weird and strange and interesting, dig around at your local comic convention and find the booth that sells animation cells because they are out there and they have incredibly bizarre stuff in there that's like literally one of a kind. Like this is a single moment from a cartoon or whatever. whatever. A friend of ours has a cell from a Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercial on his wall. He's got it framed and everything. He's a weird guy.
Who, Scott?
Yeah, Scott.
We can say his name,
Yeah,
Scott Bromley.
Scott Bromley.
He actually gets more powerful when you say his name.
Yeah,
so
every
he
time
loves
we
it.
say Scott Bromley.
Scott Bromley.
But no, I have Scott Bromley. But no, I have a bunch of cells from Exo Squad I keep meaning to get framed. Like a couple of them are like the robots, and the other ones is just Marsala just being like. So it's this big blue alien just giving the thumbs up, and I'm like, that looks good. That should go on a wall. That's art, sort of.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we see them all the time at New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. There's always like a weird, dusty corner where there's just old animation cells. Dig through them. There's always stuff for like Ninja Turtles and like the Lion King cartoon, just some weird stuff. Yeah. It's just weird, and it's always weird moments because all the great moments have been picked through. So it's sort of just like it's Raphael's like top half, and he's just like it's
or like a foot, you know.
Yeah, just his foot. Everyone loves a good frame photo.
Anyway,
Raphael's foot. That was Up at Noon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this week. We had a really good time. If you are not at CES, clap, clap. You dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
That's the Chewbacca Entertainment Siesta. I don't know what it stands for.
Close enough.
Yep.
It works.
And remember, the Mystery Machine is full of mysteries, and these dudes, and they're going on adventures. Don't do that.
You ever see those episodes where they strap their biplane to the roof of the Mystery Machine and they're
That's
like,
not canon.
come on, gang. Oh, God, the windshield popped out. The car's on fire. We all got to climb out. Shaggy hotboxed it too hard. There's smoke coming out. We can't breathe. We're going off the road. Anyway, that's the end of the show, and we'll do it again next week.
The ending of the show?
The show is over.
We'll definitely end the show again next week.
The show is all over, and then it will be back once more on Thursday.
We know how to start things. We have no idea how to stop them.
Welcome back to Up at Noon.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I did it backwards. That's the end of the show. Let's go. I guess we'll have lunch
the whole
or
thing.
something. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Coming up next, Destin Legary is going to fight a large tarantula.
What?
It's not true.
Maybe.
It's not true.
Who knows?
I'd pay to see that.
We have no idea what happens next.
I would pay to see it. Would you pay to see Destin Legary fight a tarantula? We're done. We did it. Have a great night. See you soon. Happy Up at Noon, everybody.